Hey everyone, it's Synth Designer back again with another Chillwave Essentials video. Today I wanted to talk about how to create Chillwave chords in 6 steps. Now I'm going to be using Serum today to show you how to create these chords, but you'll see that these principles can really be translated to basically any synth. So why don't we get right into it? So the first step will be to set up a rough idea of what the chords will sound like. So right now I just have a saw wave. So what we're going to do is put a filter on it. I'm going to do an 18 filter here. Put up the drive and the fat a little bit. And then I will take these chords and take this wavetable and stack it. And then lastly, I'll just put the envelope down and create kind of just a plucky sound to it. So to start off, I just have this basic setup, but we're going to tweak this as we go, as you'll see. But the idea is that a lot of chillwave songs have basic wavetables, but they really play around with a lot of effects. We'll see how that goes. So for now, it's not really about creating everything all at once. It's just about getting the first step down, which is getting a saw wave and having it filtered. The next step is setting up your actual chords. So we have the song at about an 82 BPM, and you can kind of vary between low to mid 80s. There's a lot of different types of chill wave songs that kind of go above or below that as well, but we're going to stick with that for now. And with chords, there's a lot of songs that use 7th chords, major and minor 7th chords. We're not going to get into a huge loop here. What we're going to do is just create a cool 2-bar loop. So let's just start by setting up the chords themselves. I'm going to start with A minor here. We have our A minor 7th chord here, and what we're going to do is kind of figure out a cool kind of plucked pattern to it. So let's turn on the metronome just to kind of give us an idea of what we're doing. So the next thing I did was add a C major over it, and then we have this basic 2-bar loop. So for now it sounds pretty boring, but let's get to step number 3. So we go back into Serum here, and let's shape the sound with some effects. Let's start with some reverb and delay. Let's EQ out some of these lows here. See, now we're shaping it a little bit more here with the actual low filter. Okay, so we quickly got somewhere here. Now let's add some chorus to kind of give it more width as well. Okay, so we're quickly getting somewhere here. Now we're going to continue to shape this sound as we go, but let's move on to the next step. So the next step is to add some detuning through the LFO. Now there's a few ways to do it, so I'm going to show you how to get going here. So let's start with kind of just a basic triangle shape on the LFO, and then let's add it in to our fine knob and see how that sounds. Too much detunement, right? So let's pull it back and then see where we get. Let's open up the filter just for now to hear it more. That gets too much. You can also slow down the rate. I think we're starting to get somewhere here. We can also kind of layer on these LFOs and see how that sounds. So let's go with one at a slower rate and one at a faster rate and see where we get. Why don't we take the second envelope and then attach it to the filter and see how that impacts the sound as well. Now we're going to turn the decay way down and then turn this down and then see how that sounds. And see, this is a great thing to automate as well. You can also automate the resonance. Let's turn down some of these higher and lower delays a little bit. Let's turn it to ping pong mode on delay as well. Kind of that bouncing back and forth. I'm going to turn the dampening down a little bit on the reverb. And then turn up the high cut. Let's just mess around with the size a little bit too. Okay, So the next step here is to add this to your actual mixer track and then add some different processing. So we're going to use a free plugin called Vinyl. And this is a great way to kind of add some warps and some detunement to your sound. And the great thing is it really kind of is close to that RC20 plugin that a lot of people use for Chillwave and Synthwave, but it's a free option and it does a great job. So let's just hear it with some warping. Let's open up the filter so we can really hear it more. Could get really warped here, but let's turn it down and find a sweet spot here. I'm really liking it about there. And so finally, the last step, let's add some sidechain compression. Now I'm going to do this with Kickstart 2. It's a great little tool here that kind of gets you that sidechain compression really quickly and very easily. So let's listen. So you can turn the mix down. And really tune it into where you want it. So with the mix all the way up, it's too much. So there you have it. That's just a quick way to form simple Chillwave chords. Now, the cool thing is you'll really have to experiment with kind of the patterns that you want. The patterns make a big difference in the vibe of it because it's going to kind of set up the tone of the rhythm. However, all these principles could be maintained no matter what your pattern is for the chords. So the steps are: set up your saw shape with the filter, then adjust it as you go. Remember, you can add the second envelope to the filter to really give that pop back and forth. Then next is set up your chords, which are oftentimes seventh chords. You don't have to use seventh chords. You could use just major and minors, but I find that really adds a great dimension to it. And remember, you can play around with the phrasing as well. Next, add some chorus, delay, reverb type of thing, that those three, and then EQ out whatever you don't want in there. Then it's about adding the vibrato through the LFO. Then it's about detuning through plugins such as Vinyl. And then lastly, remember to sidechain to give that kind of great kind of pumping effect that we hear in a lot of chillwave music. You can also sidechain through just your kick as well once you're later into the mixing process, but I find that something like Kickstart or LFO tool, if you have it, is just a great option for it. So I really hope you liked this video, and I'll see you next time.